There are organizations in every state and U.S. territory that are called Protection and Advocacy Agencies, P&As for short. These organizations work with individuals with disabilities and their families throughout the lifespan. They have experience working on issues related to abuse and neglect, guardianship, individuals who are institutionalized, with regard to psychiatric disabilities, mobility disabilities, you name it. They focus on the spectrum. Their primary focus is on the rights as well as the responsibilities of individuals with disabilities. So for example, if you're working on developing some kind of access assessment tool, and you're unfamiliar with not only the ADA, but what some of the requirements might be under other federal civil rights laws that apply to people with disabilities, or your own state laws, of which there are many. Going to your state P&A is a great connection to make. They can help you navigate what you need to know regarding the rights of people with disabilities. And you can find information about the P&A in your state online through the National Disability Rights Network. Another group of disability organizations that will be a fantastic resource to connect with are independent living centers. Independent living centers exist in every state in the United States and U.S. territories, and they focus specifically on issues related to people with disabilities and independent living. Kind of their name says it all. They have a vast array of resources and information. So, for example, if you're working with someone and you just have no idea who to connect with in your community about maybe some adaptive equipment, maybe they need a certain type of scooter or a certain kind of grabber to be able to stay in their own home and stay safe. Connecting up with an independent living center, if they don't have those tools available to them, because they have what are called loan closets, where they have all kinds of adaptive equipment that an organization, a domestic violence program can borrow and have that victim and survivor try it out. Is this useful for you? Can you use this? So they have those kinds of resources. They provide a lot of advocacy and support to help people remain in their own homes, whether they have disabilities or whether they're older folks. So they provide all kinds of advocacy related to other types of services and support that people might need. So independent living centers are a tremendous resource for advocates to connect with. If you're trying to find out the independent living center that serves your community, again, online resources are great. Type in Independent Living Center. It will bring up all the independent living centers. You can basically click on the link and find the one that's available to serve your community. Other groups that I think are really important for advocates to connect with are mental health groups. There are more formalized mental health services programs often run through counties or through city government. But in addition to that, there are nonprofit organizations like NAMI. NAMI is a national organization with affiliates and chapters throughout the country and in the U.S. territories, and it's made up of individuals with psychiatric disabilities as well as family members. They have a plethora of resources, tools, training curricula, and opportunities to really build an advocate's expertise and gain some additional strategies and knowledge that's needed to help provide services and support to victims and survivors who have serious mental illness or psychiatric disabilities. Another group is you might be working with victims and survivors who have intellectual disabilities or other forms of developmental disabilities. Working with your state councils on developmental disabilities or people-run organizations called People First, which are made up of individuals themselves with disabilities. They have a tremendous number of resources and opportunities, not just written, but support groups. They'd be willing to come and do an in-service in your organization so you and your colleagues can learn more. There are just a wealth of organizations out there. So to find one specific to your community, I would first recommend that maybe you go to your protection and advocacy agency, as I mentioned earlier. Go to the web to ndrn.org and find out the protection and advocacy agency in your state, because they have relationships with all of the various disability organizations that exist within a state. They could be basically the gateway or the hub to find the connection that you need to find to really enhance what it is that you do, how you do it, and the services you offer.